Welcome to the Making of Me podcast, where we explore the life experience that shape identity, resilience, and purpose. Today, I'm joined by Pamela Michaux, an author of our
Mundele Diaries.
Mondaily Diary, a
Yes.
powerful memoir of survival, identity, and reclaiming one voice after trauma, displacement, and silence. It's really a pleasure to have you on the show, Pamela.
Thank you for having me, Aro.
Yeah, thank you. So, Pamela, what challenge shaped you into who you are today?
Oof, where do I start?
Yeah, just start from somewhere.
Well, I will start from the moment I was born. I was born in Congo. Back
Wow.
then was Zaire. My mom was black and my father white. So when I was born, I was called Mundele, but that
Yeah.
means the white child.
Oh
As
wow.
you see, I'm not white.
Yeah.
Or I'm not black, but I'm brown. So I'm
Yeah.
as much black as white, So it started already with identity. I had to like forge myself to find my own way, my own path, and not give up basically. So from a very young age, I had to find my spot while around me, they were saying I didn't belong, that it was in school, even within my own family. And when I went to Belgium at age of 7, because the tension between Hutsi and Tutsis gradually started. And obviously my mom was traveling a lot because they had a company where she used to drive trucks. So she was aware of how the situation was evolving and it wasn't good. So I was sent to Belgium, and in Belgium, the majority of people are white. And then I became the black child, so it's a bit like, I can laugh about it now, but as a child, I had to find my own place, even though around me, they were saying I didn't belong.
Yeah.
And there is one phrase of my mother that I always remember, even now, I'm 40 years old. That is, if God made you the way you are, you have to live your life that way.
Yeah.
And no one has to tell you that you don't belong or you don't fit. Because most of the time, when people try to label you or put you in a box, it's very often their own fear or the fear that was brought to them
Yeah.
that they're projecting to you without actually knowing you. And as you know, Aro, you now in Nigeria, if I cut a piece here, my finger, and there is blood, and you have the same, the color will be the same. If
Yeah.
a person need a heart or a kidney, or any organs, they're not going to ask you your color, your religion. Everyone will be happy to receive it. So my childhood was really marked with racism on both sides. And until now, if I go to Congo, in my own family, they say, oh, the white child, Ada Mundele, So it's, and that's why my book, I wrote it like Mundele Diaries. It's like the white diary journal, but it has a double meaning because it started with that. And that's volume 1. And then on my father's side, what happened is I was promised a better life. And over there, I faced racism on my father's side. And most of them are blonde with blue
Yeah.
eyes, or green eyes. And the insult of like nigger, what I never understood because my mom is black. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's the same like telling a person, oh, you're white, and making it sound like it's an insult. So it was very confusing for me. And back then, you didn't have the social media and the awareness that people have now. And very often people use it in the wrong way. They create more fear than actually evolvement. When we are united, that you're Asian, black, white, brown, we all are human and it's humanity. If you can't help someone else, you are less of a person in my eyes. I suffered a lot as a child. Most people say, oh, but I wouldn't have survived. Yet I survived it. Why? I never lost hope and the belief that one day this will change. And that's what I was holding on. At age of 12, I went to the police. I was beaten up and by my aunt who was mistreating me, my sister, my brother. They arrived 1 year after me. My sister was 3 years old. We were beaten up, giving food as leftovers. Shower was a luxury. We had to take water from a well. And people say like, oh, and I remember my aunt saying like, oh, in Africa, you wouldn't have the chance to go to school, or, and people have that idea that in Africa, everyone lives in a hut.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on. You are in Nigeria, you have places, they're much nicer than in Europe. So educate yourself before you even open your mouth. It's in both sides that you have very wealthy, very poor. So it's all about actually, instead of creating a gap and that fear, it's uniting people. And that's why I wrote my book, to actually tell people, speak up. Don't just look on the other side or say, oh, it didn't happen to me, because we are all connected in a way. Your pain or my pain can be the person you love pain one day if you don't speak up and make an end to it. And
Yeah.
that's my message through the book. And don't compare your life or your story or your pain with someone else, because we all have our own way to cope with pain. My pain endurance is massive, but I'm not going to look down to someone else and say like, oh, you shouldn't complain. No, you shouldn't complain. You should make work to it. But if you all the time repeating, oh, because of my childhood, no. I have 5 jobs. I'm a single mother, and I'm sorry for the term, I work my ass off. I do not sit and wait things to be delivered to me. I go and get my stuff. If I receive a no from someone, I say, okay, this person is not my person. I keep continuing because I believe in it. And that's one of my strengths. I do not give up. And I really push towards what will make me grow and not what happened to me.
Yeah.
Your past
Amazing. Amazing.
is
Amazing.
behind. You can't change the past. It's like when you have people, they say, oh, but if I do this, this will happen. If I do this, oh, this will happen. How do you know? You don't have this glass ball to see into the future. You can think these things happen, but already if you believe this will happen, the chance that it will happen in the wrong way, but also in the good way, has more possibility.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Pamela. So at age 12, just what you said earlier on, you stood alone before court to protect yourself and your sibling. Where did that
Yes.
strength actually come from at such a young age?
I understood that my mother and my father were separating, and my mother had no papers, even though she was married. She never had the papers to come and join us in Europe. So my mother stayed behind. She thought that we had a good life. And the last time I saw her, so I was separated from her at the age of 7. And the last time I saw her was when I was 10 years old. And I realized if I don't do something, no one will come and get us out. And being the oldest of the 3 children, in African culture, like the oldest, you
Yeah.
have the responsibility, and even though they are not your kids, but they become your kids, not by choice,
Yeah.
just by the upbringing. And I didn't run away for me, to be honest, at the time. It was more to get my sister out of the system and my brother out. And I became in an orphanage or a government child. And I went to a spiral of pain and, like self-destruction, self-sabotage, I would call it now, because I would use anything that could numb the pain. I had no family or people that I could actually lean on. I had an older sister. She was on my father's side, my half sister, but she took me 10 times in 4 years that I was in that center. And that was the only family I actually had. I had no Christmas, no, so I learned to be by myself
Wow.
and I learned to count on myself.
Hmm.
And
Amazing.
many people that were with me in the center, their life didn't turn up as mine. And I thank God for that, because I did not want to stay the victim, because then it's also a choice for me. It
Yeah.
wasn't a choice to become a victim. I turned from being a victim to being a survivor. And
Yeah.
that's how I see myself. I do not see
Yeah.
myself anymore as a victim.
I mean,
When you're a child and things come to you, there is not a lot you can do. But when you grow up as an adult, you still have the choice. Whatever circumstances there are, you can have 100 doors closed until you find one door that opens for you. Hold on and don't give up. And that's my message to all of your listeners or anyone who's listening to this podcast. Like, I was in an orphanage. I had no support. I'm a property owner. I have my own business now. Why? Because I did not want to have a life where I stayed a victim. I wanted to become my own master of my life and not staying in the dark place they once wanted to put me in there.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Thank you. So, as an adult, you notice some of these are pattern reappear in your life. What made you confront the truth that healing still need to happen?
For me, it's when I became a mother. When I became a mother, and the survival mode, it's very good when you need to survive. But when you keep being in a survival mode, the problem is it becomes a prison.
Yeah.
While it helps you to advance, but then you think everything like you are on an alert mode. And I was married for 17 years. I mean, and I have a very good relationship with my ex-husband. And there was a moment where I said, I need to find who Pamela is. So for that, I had to go back to the core of everything what happened. I wouldn't say it's forgiving the past, but accepting, because I had a lot of anger in me, a lot, because a lot of things that were done, even someone I dislike, because hate is something really big. I don't hate anyone. Even the people who hurt me, I don't hate them. I just don't want them in my life anymore. And I'm a person, I will feed everyone. I know what it is to be hungry, but not everyone will have a seat at my table.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. I'm so glad of the way you actually carved the narrative about healing and the fact that, yeah, there's not much you can do about it, but hate should not actually more like be the core thing of it. So as require, must have required more like you revisiting your painful memory. What
Yes,
part of telling your stories changed you the most?
it's owning my past.
Owning your
Yeah.
past.
And what I mean with owning my past is acknowledge what happened. And it's a sort of acceptance, not accepting like, oh, it happened and I accept it, but it's more like this happened to me, but I don't have to stay in that pain anymore. Because when you have anger in you, anger, it's like a poison. And a lot of people don't understand it. I did not understand this until 2 years ago, really and truly. I thought I forgave, not forgave, but that they were out of my life and that was it. But it's not like this. Owning your past is like going back and saying, now I'm doing my life. Now I want to live for me. I don't want to survive anymore. I want to live. For that, I have to forgive them in a way. And forgiveness is not like I forgive you. If you now insult me and say like, Pam, you dumb and everything, that's your perspective of things.
Yeah,
Why
amazing.
should I be angry with you? It's the power you give to people to stay alive within you and in your path of growing. I do not give people the power to just piss me off, make me angry, or actually doubting about my worth. I know I'm a very good person. I'm not perfect. I'm far from being perfect, but I'm a good person. I know my values. And it's like food. A simple example. You don't like every food. People is the same. It doesn't expire. Well, people are the same. Some people, or some say it's like season. Some people, they are there for a few seconds in your life, and that's it. Other for a week, days, weeks, months, years, and just take the best what is good for you. But that's a very important rule. Don't do what you wouldn't like someone to do to you.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you
If you
so
don't
much.
like to be hurt, why would you hurt someone else? I cannot agree with everyone. I still have people I don't agree with, but I let them live their way. I will not pollute my mind of trying to change them or proving my point. Let's disagree to agree.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. Thank you
You
so
know?
much, Pamela. So your book was once removed due to betrayal.
Yes.
Yet you actually choose to rise again. What did that moment teach you about trust and resilience?
That the trust that we're expecting from others, we have it towards our own values. And that's why it hurts so much. The amount of pain someone do to you, it's the amount of your core values, your values. For me, example, it's family. Even it's a cliche because I didn't have a family. So I will do everything that is for my friend to protect them. But there is a limit as well. It's the same with trust. You give people a chance, a trust. If they remove that trust, what do? Are you keep giving chances? That's become a habit. Everyone can make a mistake. But when there is a repetition, that means it's not a mistake. That's a habit.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Pamela. I think you just speak a whole lot to more like human nature, being that if you didn't actually more like take notice of patterns that keep repeating and repeating, you will keep falling victim of what the outcome will get to be. It's only more like your story or in every difficult part that are actually coming to being. And yeah, despite it still living on it, that was really amazing. So Pamela, for someone listening right now who still felt unseen, not worthy, what will you want them to know after? Yeah, what do you want them to know about owning their own?
You have a voice, it's for a reason. Stop trying to please people. People who love you and see who you are, truly are, they will love you the way you are. Obviously, we can correct things. If you are a good person and you help others and people still say like, oh, you're not doing this for me, that's already wrong. If I don't see my close friends for a while, they will not tell me, Pam, I'm not seeing you and complaining. I would love to see you more. When you have time, let me know. You have to know who are your people. If you had an issue, like something really serious, who would you call? If you have 5 people, you're very rich, very rich. And that's
Okay.
how you make the difference between acquaintance and
Yeah,
friendship,
and friendship.
true friendship. When everything is good, you have a lot of people around you. But when things are really bad, that's where you see who stays around you.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Pamela. So, Pamela, for my audience who want to get your book, who want to connect with you, who want to listen on to you and reach out to you, how can they reach out to you and where is the best platform?
Yes, Pamela Michaux. I mean, you can Mundele Diaries on Instagram. Instagram is the best platform. I personally reply to the people myself. Sometimes it takes more time, but I do reply. And it's they say it's your life. So I really recommend everyone live your life. Don't live your parents' life. Don't live your
Hmm.
husband or wife's life. You have to make compromises, even in friendship. But making compromises is not losing yourself, especially not your values. That's what I really recommend to anyone. And today is maybe good, tomorrow might be better. And if you have moments where you're down, I have moments because healing is a journey. With all the traumatic experience I experience, there are moments where I'm not strong because I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
I'm a human, but I allow myself to have those moments. What I don't allow myself is to feel pity for myself and to stay in those moments. So I
Mm,
force myself to get out of it. There are
amazing.
different ways to express that is by writing, speaking to someone. By speaking, it's not always repeating the same. I'm down, oh, this happened to me. Then you're victimizing yourself. I do not believe in that. If you want to have more money, example, you work more. You want to go on holiday? I mean, don't expect and say, this one is so lucky because, yes, they might be lucky, but you can also make your luck.
Yeah, thank you
So
so much. Yeah, thank you so much.
educate yourself instead of
Yeah.
wasting time on social media or educate yourself. I'm doing courses. I'm buying book. Yesterday evening, even I bought a book. I educate myself. I want to learn. I want to grow. The limit is the day I will not be here
Yeah.
anymore. That's the only security you have that one day you will die. That's the only security you have. Take chances, take risk in terms of you want to create a business, start small, but dream big. Make possibilities. I remember my first business that I started. I had €100, and I invested. I made €200 out of it. Then I bought more goods. Then I made €400 out of it. Like this, I built up. I didn't get money from home. I was in an orphanage. I didn't even have a mom to hug me or a dad to hug me. No one. No one. And I was there for my sister and my brother. I helped them to pass in certain things. But that's also the tricky part. If you've been all the time the savior or the one who fix things, you don't allow the others to also fix their things. And then they can create a dependency on you, being dependent on you, while you put that role from a young age, or it starts very often. Everything is linked with childhood.
Yeah,
You got
amazing.
that role and you keep having that role. And you don't allow them to actually grow themselves because you are mothering them or fathering them. So sometimes the people you love, there is a saying, being cruel to be kind. Sometimes you have to let people fall on their own face for them to find the resources to stand back up. Otherwise, they will always come and hang on you.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
then it's
Thank you
like
so
you're
much.
having a backpack of duties and tasks that you have to continue carrying. I removed my backpack and say, enough.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pamela. Thank you for the load of wisdom you are telling about like dish out in this episode. I think it's really lovely just hearing all of it being that you just have to accept your story. You just have to kind of uh more like the past is already the past. There's no much you can do about
You
it.
own it.
You can,
You
yeah,
own it.
you can own it
You
and
made mistakes.
improve on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and do everything you actually can. Yeah, Pamela, thank you for your courage, your honesty, and the presence in the conversation. For listeners who actually want to connect more deeply with Pamela's work and journey, you can follow her at Modele Diary on Instagram and explore her stories and continuing to unfold. This has been the Making of Me podcast. A reminder that what once silent us can become the very thing that set us free. Once again, it's really a pleasure having you on the show, Pamela.
Thank you for having me.